This video is entitled The Decline in Men. Ladies and gentlemen, this is about the decline in men, and what I mean by the decline in men, I'm not necessarily talking about the soy boy vegans with their soy lattes that can't open a pickle jar and stand there and watch while their women gets cockholded by another man. I'm not necessarily talking about those guys, although that's a big problem if you ask me. I'm talking about the high suicide rates in men, both the high suicide rates in the United States and in Australia. The highest suicide rate with the jobs is construction jobs, dominated by men, and the suicide rate with men between 18 and 29 is extremely alarming. It's 18 to 35, sorry, it's drastic. There's a major issue, and no one seems to be talking about. All the media seems to focus on women's issues, and I've no problem with them focusing on women's issues, but there has to be a balance. Like, they focus on the myth of the gender pay gap and a number of other women's issues, like women's health issues such as breast cancer, and that's fine. I care about breast cancer. My grandmother died as a result of cancer, and my mother had breast cancer as well, so it's very close to my heart. But what is also a worry, and what, quite frankly, women should worry about too, is, uh, as I stated, the suicide rates in men, the level of depression in men, the obviously decline in masculinity because it's falsely represented as toxic everywhere. And we've got a problem where men don't know who they are, where they are, or what to do, because they're being told they can't expose their masculinity and the fact that they're men because it's evil, that they can't eat meat, that they can't outwardly show aggression in a positive way. And it's just so sad. Like, men used to know what their roles were. They go to work, they work their job to provide for the family, and they come home and their other role was the protector of the family. Now they don't know what their roles are, because a lot of the hands-on jobs and the labourer jobs and the jobs that were participated by men are disappearing, and they're being replaced and they're being automated. And a lot of the jobs that uh, a lot of the new jobs that are coming along are in um, communication, and they're in PR, and they're jobs that are more suited to women. So the roles for men are significantly declining, and that's why, in my opinion, I believe that the suicide rates and the depression in men is a real problem. Plus, you've got all the TV shows where men are portrayed as, idiots, idiot dirtbrains, and the women have to solve the problem in the family. And yeah, you know, men. Well, not only in a lot of quarters, men are being portrayed as, evil Neanderthals. They're also being portrayed as useless, so they can't win either way, and that is why, men are just stuck and depressed. Plus, in Australia, and I'm sure it's the case in United States and Canada, a lot of the trade schools and tech schools being closed. So men that have got the skills of being hands on and they're not necessarily academic, but they're smarter in other areas, their options are being closed. Plus, men that should really be going into tech and trade schools are encouraged to into university, and it doesn't really suit them, and they're dropping out. Plus, they're being taught this falsehood that being a tradie is being a tradie or going into the tech schools and or doing a trade or construction job is somehow lower than some idiot with an arts or a degree in fucking English literature that's useless, that they've spent 6 years doing, that they're not going to get a job out of anyway, is somehow a lower class, and they're being discouraged into going that areas. Meanwhile, we've got a shortage in Australia, and I'm sure they have in other countries, in trades. And meanwhile, if you go into a trade, trust me, you can make a shitload of uh, money and make a good living, because you've got these new generation millennial soy boys these days that don't know how to replace a washer in a tap, or fix a leaking pipe, or anything like that, or they have to call a tradie to fix a toilet seat because they don't know how to glue it up with sealant. So trust me, you can make a lot of money. But, you know, men's graduation rates are falling through the floor. Men's areas that jobs in areas that men used to go into are falling through the floor. Suicide rates are skyrocketing, and it's a big problem. It's a big problem. And back in the day, in 40, 50 years ago, where there were very few women in the workforce, and men were graduating at double the rate of women, they put affirmative action programs in. Now, being a conservative, it's a bit conflicting with me because I don't really agree with affirmative action and or quotas. But I do agree that something has to be done, and encouragement of men to, perhaps men that aren't academic, to go into trades or to go into trade schools to make them feel worthwhile, needs to be done. And the women out there that have their men, real men, need to show them once in a while how important they are in their lives. It's very important, because men don't show it to you and bottle it up, but men want to be appreciated. Let me tell you, they want to be appreciated, and they want to show that women are and they want to be needed, and they want to be protectors of their partner and or their family. So let them do that. Anyway, there's a drastic decline in men as a whole, and in men's health, and the men's suicide rates are disgusting, and this has to be highlighted, and something has to be done about it, and men have to feel that they're worthwhile again, and we need to stop having attack ads like that disgusting Gillette ad that portrays men as all evil. Thank you very much.